Imagine this, it's December 12, 2024, 7:45 p.m. The streets of Lower Manhattan hum with the chaos of holiday shoppers and honking taxis. Inside a sleek glass tower on Wall Street, 38-year-old Ethan Caldwell, CEO of the crypto startup BitVault, sits at his desk, staring at a screen glowing with numbers $50 million in Bitcoin, locked in a digital wallet only he can access. His phone buzzes with a text, "Meet me outside. Urgent." He grabs his coat, steps into the elevator, and vanishes. 12 hours later, his body is found in the trunk of a wrecked sedan, abandoned off a snowy interstate in upstate New York. The wallet? Drained. The question burning through the headlines, who took him and how did they crack the uncrackable? This isn't just another corporate mystery. Ethan wasn't your average suit. He was a crypto prodigy, a guy who turned a $10,000 investment into a blockchain empire in 5 years. BitVault wasn't just a company, it was a fortress, promising investors bulletproof security in a world where hackers lurk behind every pixel. That night, Ethan had been finalizing a deal that would have pushed his net worth past 9 figures. But someone had other plans. Surveillance footage from the tower lobby shows him stepping out at 7:52 p.m., glancing at his phone, then hurrying toward a black SUV idling at the curb. The vehicle peels off into traffic, and that's the last anyone sees of him alive. The ransom demand came fast, too fast. At 9:17 p.m., BitVault's COO, Rachel Torres, got an encrypted email, "Transfer 10 million in BTC to this address by midnight or he's gone for good." Attached was a photo, Ethan, wide-eyed, duct tape across his mouth, a timestamp glowing in the corner. Rachel scrambled to alert the board, but the clock was ticking. By 10:30 p.m., the FBI was involved, tracing the email to a server in Eastern Europe. Too late. At 11:58 p.m., the wallet emptied, $50 million siphoned off in seconds. No one had the private keys except Ethan. Or so they thought. Next morning, a trucker spots the wreck on I-87, 150 miles north of the city. The sedan's front end is smashed into a guardrail, tires slashed, windows fogged with frost. Inside the trunk, Ethan's lifeless form, still in his tailored coat, hands bound with zip ties. No wallet, no phone, just a single USB drive clutched in his fist. The autopsy would later show he'd been gone for hours before the crash, but the cause? Unclear. The scene screams setup, a high-speed chase gone wrong, a body dump to send a message. But who was behind it? The news explodes. Crypto Twitter lights up with theories, hackers, rivals, even a government sting. BitVault's stock tanks 60% overnight, investors screaming betrayal. Rachel, now interim CEO, swears the company's systems were untouchable. Ethan was the only one with access, she tells CNN, her voice cracking. This wasn't us. But whispers start swirling, was it an inside job? Ethan's inner circle, Rachel, his CTO Mark Hensley, and his assistant Lila Chin all had reasons to want a piece of that $50 million pie. Mark had been pushing risky tech upgrades. Lila knew Ethan's every move. Rachel stood to inherit the throne. Someone cracked the code and the FBI's digging deep. Here's where it gets wild, that USB drive? Plugged into an FBI laptop, it reveals a single file, a video. Grainy, shaky, timestamp 10:45 p.m. Ethan's voice, hoarse and panicked, "They've got me. It's someone I trusted. Check the logs, BitVault's compromised." The screen cuts to black, but not before a shadow moves behind him, a figure in a hoodie, face obscured. The logs he mentioned? Wiped clean from BitVault's servers hours before his disappearance. Someone knew exactly what they were doing and they were close. Was it a jealous rival? A hacker syndicate? Or a traitor in the C-suite? The chase was just the beginning. $50 million don't vanish without a fight, and Ethan's final words point to a conspiracy that could bring BitVault crashing down. Buckle up, because this story's about to take you on a ride through greed, tech, and a betrayal so deep it'll leave you questioning everything. The clock's ticking, and the FBI's got a mess on their hands. Ethan Caldwell, the golden boy of BitVault, is gone, found lifeless in a trunk off I-87. His $50 million Bitcoin fortune vanished into the digital ether. That grainy video from the USB drive, Ethan's last words, echoes through the investigation. "It's someone I trusted. Check the logs." But the logs are erased and the trail's going cold faster than a New York winter. By December 13, 2024, 24 hours after Ethan's disappearance, the focus shifts to the people closest to him. If this was an inside job, the suspects are hiding in plain sight. First up, Rachel Torres, BitVault's COO. She's 35, sharp as a tack, and now running the show as interim CEO. Rachel's the one who got the ransom email at 9:17 p.m., 10 million in Bitcoin or Ethan's done. She swears she tried to save him, rallying the board while the FBI traced the message. But here's the kicker. Rachel's been vocal about wanting more control at BitVault. Ethan's cautious approach, locking the company's funds in his personal wallet, drove her nuts. We're sitting on a gold mine, and he's playing gatekeeper. She'd vented at a staff meeting weeks earlier, caught on a leaked audio clip. Did she see a chance to cash out and take the crown? Then there's Mark Hensley, the CTO. He's 42, a tech wizard with a temper, and Ethan's right-hand man for the blockchain backbone of BitVault. Mark's the guy who built the systems Ethan trusted with his life and his fortune. But lately, he'd been pushing for a risky upgrade, something Ethan shot down. Too vulnerable, Ethan had said, per a colleague's testimony. Mark didn't take it well, stormed out of the office, muttering about wasted potential. The night Ethan vanished, Mark claims he was home in Brooklyn, coding. No alibi, no witnesses. And here's the twist. Mark's laptop pinged a VPN in Romania at 10:15 p.m., right when the wallet started draining. Lila Chin, Ethan's assistant, rounds out the trio. She's 28, quiet, and knows every detail of Ethan's schedule. Like that urgent text at 7:45 p.m. Lila says it wasn't her who sent it. Her phone was on her desk, untouched. But the FBI's digging into her past, and it's messy. Turns out, Lila's got a brother in deep with a crypto scam. Lost $200,000 to a phishing scheme last year. Did she need a quick payout to bail him out? She had access to Ethan's calendar, his habits, even his coffee order. Could she have handed him over to the wolves? The investigation's heating up, and the crypto angle's getting weirder. That ransom demand, 10 million BTC, came from a burner email, bounced through servers in Ukraine and Bulgaria. But the wallet drain? That's a different beast. At 11:58 p.m., $50 million flowed out in chunks, first to a mixer, then scattered across a dozen addresses. Experts say it's pro-level work. No amateur could pull it off that fast. Someone had the keys, says Agent Sarah Klein, lead on the case. Either Ethan gave them up, or they were stolen long before he stepped outside. Back to that video. The FBI's tech team zooms in on the shadow behind Ethan. A hoodie, a gloved hand, nothing distinct. But there's a sound, faint and chilling. A car horn, short and sharp, like a signal. Analysts match it to traffic cams near BitVault at 7:53 p.m. A black SUV honks twice as it pulls away with Ethan inside. The plates? Stolen from a junkyard in Queens 3 days earlier. This wasn't random. It was planned down to the second. Rachel, Mark, and Lila are called in for questioning by December 14th. Rachel's cool as ice, claiming she'd never hurt her mentor. Mark's defensive, slamming the table. I built this company. Why would I tank it? Lila's a wreck, sobbing about loyalty. But the FBI's not buying it. Phone records show a call from Lila to an unlisted number at 7:30 p.m., 15 minutes before Ethan left. Mark's VPN logs tie to a darknet forum known for hiring muscle. And Rachel? Her laptop has a deleted file titled BT Transfer Protocol, recovered just hours ago. The pieces are falling into place, but the puzzle's far from solved. Was it one of them or all three? The crypto's gone, Ethan's silenced, and someone's laughing all the way to the blockchain. Next stop. The chase that ended it all. Ethan Caldwell's final hours are a blur of asphalt and headlights. A high-stakes chase that ends with his wrecked sedan off I-87. It's December 13th, 2024, and the FBI's piecing together a nightmare that started in Manhattan and ended in the snowy wilds of upstate New York. The black SUV that scooped him up at 7:52 p.m. wasn't just a getaway car. It was a ticking clock. By midnight, $50 million in Bitcoin had vanished from his wallet, and Ethan was gone. But the road to that crash tells a story of betrayal, speed, and a plan that almost worked. Traffic cams pick up the SUV tearing north on the Henry Hudson Parkway minutes after Ethan steps inside. It's a Dodge Durango, stolen plates, tinted windows, moving like it owns the night. At 8:15 p.m., A toll booth near Yonkers clocks it at 80 miles an hour, weaving through traffic. The driver's a ghost. No clear shot of the face, just a hoodie and gloves gripping the wheel. But there's a passenger. Ethan, barely visible, slumped in the back seat. Was he already out of it, or fighting to get free? The trail heats up at 9:30 p.m. A gas station clerk in Poughkeepsie spots the SUV idling near the pumps. Guy in a hoodie came in, bought energy drinks and a burner phone, he tells the FBI. Looked wired, kept checking his watch. The clerk doesn't see Ethan, but the SUV's back door cracks open for a split second, long enough to glimpse a figure inside. By then, the ransom emails hit BitVault, so Rachel Torres. 10 million BTC or bust. The clerk's tip sends state troopers scrambling, but the Durango's already back on the highway, barreling toward Albany. Here's where it gets dicey. At 10:45 p.m., the exact time of Ethan's panicked video, a trooper spots the SUV on I-87, clocking it at 95. He flips on the sirens and the chase is on. Dashcam footage shows the Durango swerving through lanes, tires screeching, snow kicking up in its wake. It's a wild ride, 5 minutes of pure adrenaline captured in grainy night vision. The trooper radios for backup, but the SUV's got a lead. Then, at 10:50 p.m., it veers off an exit, clips a guardrail, and vanishes into the dark. The trooper loses it in a maze of backroads. The wreck turns up at 7 a.m., spotted by a trucker hauling lumber. The Durango's front end is crumpled, passenger side smashed, keys still in the ignition. Ethan's in the trunk, hands zip-tied, coat torn, that USB drive clenched tight. The driver? Gone. Footprints lead into the woods, but a fresh snowfall buries them fast. The troopers report notes skid marks and a second set of tire tracks. Another vehicle was there, maybe a pickup. Did the driver ditch Ethan and bolt with a partner? The crypto angle twists the knife. That $50 million drain at 11:58 p.m. wasn't random, it was surgical. Blockchain analysts traced the coins through a mixer, splitting into fragments across anonymous wallets. This wasn't a smash and grab, says Agent Sarah Klein. Someone had Ethan's private keys and they knew how to cover their tracks. The timing's too perfect, the wallet empties just as the chase ends. Was Ethan forced to give up the keys before the crash, or had someone hacked him weeks ago? Back at BitVault, the suspects are sweating. Rachel Torres insists she was on the phone with the FBI when the wallet drained, her alibi's shaky but holds for now. Mark Hensley, the CTO, clams up about his VPN logs. That Romania ping at 10:15 p.m. looks worse by the minute. Lila Chin, the assistant, admits to the 7:30 p.m. call but swears it was a wrong number. She's hiding something, and her brother's crypto debts don't help her case. The USB video's shadow looms large, someone I trusted. One of them was in on it, or all three played a part. The chase didn't just end Ethan's life, it blew the lid off BitVault's secrets. The second vehicle, the wiped logs, the crypto heist, it's a puzzle with pieces scattered from Wall Street to the dark web. Next up, the tech trail that could crack this wide open. The snow settled over I-87, but the heat's on at BitVault. Ethan Caldwell's wrecked sedan and that haunting USB video have turned a corporate kidnapping into a full-blown crypto conspiracy. It's December 15, 2024, 3 days since Ethan vanished from his Wall Street office, and the FBI's chasing a $50 million Bitcoin trail that's as slippery as the icy highway where he was found. The tech behind this heist is unraveling, and it's pointing straight back to the people Ethan trusted most. Agent Sarah Klein's team starts with the wallet drain. At 11:58 p.m. on December 12th, $50 million flowed out in a flash, split through a mixer, scattered across a dozen addresses, then lost in the blockchain's depths. This wasn't brute force, says blockchain expert Dr. Liam Patel, brought in by the FBI. Whoever did this had Ethan's private keys, 12 words, unique, locked in his head. Ethan was paranoid about security. He'd memorized the keys, never storing them digitally. So how did they get out? The answer's chilling. Either he cracked under pressure during the chase or someone had them all along. The USB video's a goldmine. Beyond Ethan's plea, check the logs, techs find a hidden audio layer, faint but clear, a keyboard tapping, fast and deliberate. It's not random noise, it's a rhythm, like someone typing a command. Analysts match it to a BitVault server login at 10:20 p.m., 25 minutes before Ethan's video plea. The login's tied to Mark Hensley's credentials, the CTO. Mark's alibi? I was home coding. But that Romania VPN ping at 10:15 p.m. says otherwise. His laptop, seized yesterday, shows traces of a deleted script, something designed to wipe server logs. Coincidence? Mark snaps in questioning. I test security all the time. The FBI's not buying it. Rachel Torres, the COO, isn't off the hook either. That deleted file on her laptop, BTC_transfer_protocol, turns out to be a draft memo dated December 1st. It outlines a contingency plan. If Ethan ever stepped away, BitVault could access his wallet with a backup key. Rachel claims it was theoretical, never implemented. But the memo's timestamp aligns with a meeting she had with Ethan and Mark 2 weeks before the kidnapping. We argued about risk, she admits. He wouldn't budge. Did she push too far? Her phone records show a text to an unlisted number at 7:40 p.m. on December 12th, 5 minutes before Ethan's urgent message. Wrong number, she insists. The FBI's tracing it now. Lila Chen's story's crumbling fast. Ethan's assistant admits the 7:30 p.m. call was to her brother, Alex, a small-time crypto scammer who'd racked up debts to some nasty players. He begged me for help, Lila sobs. I didn't tell Ethan. But her phone logs show a second call at 7:50 p.m. to the same unlisted number Rachel texted. Alex's apartment, searched this morning, turns up a burner phone with a single outgoing message. He's leaving now. Sent at 7:51 p.m., right as Ethan stepped outside. Was Lila the bait? Or deeper in the game? The chase ties it together. That second set of tire tracks at the wreck? Forensics matched them to a Ford F-150, registered to a shell company in Delaware. The shells linked to a crypto wallet that received $2 million from the drained funds, laundered through 3 mixers but sloppy enough to trace. The truck's owner? A ghost. But a traffic cam near Albany catches it tailing the SUV at 10:48 p.m., minutes before the crash. This was a team, Agent Klein says. One drove Ethan. Another cleaned up. The horn from the video, it matches the F-150's pitch, caught on a dashcam miles earlier. The crypto's the clincher. One wallet fragment, $5 million, pops up on a darknet exchange, swapped for Monero at 3 a.m. on December 13th. The transaction's IP traces to a cafe in Brooklyn, 2 blocks from Mark's apartment. He denies it, but his VPN logs show activity at that exact time. Rachel's memo mentions a dark pool contingency. Did she and Mark test it? And Lila's brother? His burner phone pings the same cafe at 2:45 a.m. The net's closing, but the mastermind's still out there. BitVault's imploding. Stocks down 80%. Investors suing. Employees panicking. Ethan's last words haunt the case. Someone I trusted. The digital trail's lit up with clues, but the final piece is missing. Who held the wheel and who cashed out? It's December 17th, 2024, and the walls are closing in on BitVault. Ethan Caldwell's kidnapping has morphed from a Wall Street mystery into a crypto-fueled betrayal that's rocked the tech world. The FBI's got a wrecked SUV, a drained $50 million wallet, and a cast of suspects. Rachel Torres, Mark Hensley, and Lila Chun, whose alibis are unraveling faster than a cheap sweater. The chase ended in snow, but the digital trails led to a showdown. The question now, who pulled the trigger on this heist, and who's walking away with the cash? Agent Sarah Klein's team cracks the case wide open with that Ford F-150. The shell company owning it? A front for a darknet fixer named Victor Drayton, a 34-year-old ex-hacker with a rap sheet from Miami to Moscow. Drayton's tied to the $2 million wallet fragment. Sloppy enough to trace, cocky enough to spend. The FBI raids his Brooklyn hideout on December 16th, finding a laptop streaming live feeds from BitVault's offices. He'd been watching them for months, Klein says. But Drayton's not the mastermind, he's the muscle. His burner phone logs a call at 7:50 p.m. on December 12th to Lila Chin. Lila breaks first. In a tear-streaked interrogation, she spills it. It was Alex's idea, my brother. He owed Drayton $200,000 from a scam. They said they'd wipe it if I got Ethan outside. That urgent text at 7:45 p.m., sent from her phone, but by Alex, who'd grabbed it from her desk. She didn't know the plan, thought it was a scare tactic to shake Ethan down for cash. I didn't mean for this, she sobs. But her call to Drayton at 7:50 p.m. sealed Ethan's fate. Alex is nabbed in Queens that night, confessing, "Drayton promised me a cut, $5 million. The assistant was the bait, but she didn't act alone." Mark Hensley's next to crack. His VPN logs that Romania ping the darknet cafe swap too much to dodge. On December 17th, he flips. "It was Rachel's plan. She wanted control. Said Ethan was holding us back." Mark's script wiped the logs, but he'd built a backdoor into BitVault's system months ago. At Rachel's urging. "She had the memo, I had the tech," he says. "We'd split the wallet, $25 million each." The night of the kidnapping, Mark logged in from home, ready to drain it once Ethan was out of the picture. But Drayton beat him to it, using keys he shouldn't have had. Rachel Torres holds out longest. "I'm innocent," she insists, stone-faced, as the FBI hauls her in. But the evidence piles up. The memo, the 7:40 p.m. text to Drayton, a recovered email from November sketching the heist. She'd pitched it as a contingency. Get Ethan's keys, fake a ransom, take the company. Mark coded the backdoor. Lila lured Ethan out. Drayton ran the grab. The plan? Stage a kidnapping, force Ethan to cough up the keys, then cash out. But Drayton went rogue. Took the full $50 million and ditched the body after the chase. "She promised me half," he smirks in custody. "Guess I got greedy." The crypto's the final twist. Analysts track the $50 million. $5 million to Drayton, $10 million to a wallet tied to Alex's scam buddies. The rest splintered across the dark web. Ethan's keys? Drayton claims he got them from a USB Ethan carried, snatched during the chase. But Mark insists Rachel had a copy transcribed from a meeting Ethan didn't know was recorded. "She played us all," Mark says. The FBI is still chasing the funds, but most of it's gone, laundered into untraceable Monero. BitVault's finished stock's worthless, lawsuits piling up. Rachel, Mark, Lila, and Drayton face charges: conspiracy, fraud, kidnapping. Alex cuts a deal, singing for leniency. Ethan's video, "Someone I Trusted," was right, his inner circle sold him out. But the $50 million? A ghost in the blockchain, a fortune no one's claiming yet. So, who's the real villain? Rachel, the puppet master? Drayton, the loose cannon? Or a system where greed turns friends into foes? Ethan's story ends in a trunk, but the questions linger. What would you do for $50 million, and who'd you trust with the keys? Thank you so much for listening to this story to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. We work for you, searching and telling you the most effective stories about real crimes, unsolved cases, modern cybercrimes, frauds of the century. Save us, put likes, write comments, and, of course, subscribe to the channel so as not to miss a single story.